Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. We are doing a very chill question and answer video today. Super long overdue. I feel like I haven't done one of these for months and it is so much easier to knock out frequently asked questions on YouTube because I feel like when I'm getting questions on TikTok or Instagram, I don't have the space in the text to just say all the things that I want to say about these questions. And so we're just going to knock them all out today. I'm going to go through, I asked you guys on Instagram to send me questions for this video, and I'm just going to knock out as many as I can and try to get through the most frequently asked ones. If you are new here, my name is Vicky. I live in New York City. I'm 25. I just moved here in March of this year, and I share all things living in New York, running, and just like everything else in between. I'm not one to have a niche, so you're just getting all the things on this channel. All right, we're just gonna dive right in because I don't like a long intro on a Q&A video. So let's just categorize these. We're gonna start with questions about living in New York, moving, all of those things. So the first question was, what was the hardest part of moving to New York? So I moved from Portland, Oregon, which is where I lived for the majority of my life, in March, all the way to New York City, pretty much by myself. My dad was an absolute savior and helped me move in. But the hardest part was definitely leaving my family and especially my dog. My parents and my older brother all still live in Portland, so it is definitely tough to be that far away from them, but I'm also really, really grateful to have their support, and I have a lot of friends out here. I've made a lot of friends. I'm really lucky to have made a lot of friends in the running community, so I don't feel as lonely as I expected to, and I literally call my mom on the phone every single day at multiple times a day. Like, I will just be bored, I'm calling my mom. So I don't really think that I have lost that family tie because I'm constantly talking to them, and thank God for social media and phones. And I'm also lucky enough that I can travel back and forth pretty frequently. I'm actually going on a trip there next week. And so I feel lucky that I'm able to come back and forth. My parents are retired, so they can come and visit me when they want to. And I just feel like I'm lucky to be able to visit when I can. And then I just FaceTime, phone calls in between. So that was definitely a hard part of moving. I was definitely worried about making friends, but I kind of solved that problem with running and just joining a run club, well, multiple run clubs. Being on social media also helps because I just meet people all day on the internet, which is a weird phenomenon, but it's also really helpful when you're trying to make new friends in a new city. And I was lucky to have my best friend live in the same exact building as me, which is how I found my apartment in the first place. I also went to University of Oregon, and a lot of alumni are out here, so I definitely feel like I still have a community. Other than friends and family, the hardest part has just been everything is more expensive and everything is a little bit harder. Getting groceries is a little bit harder. Going to run an errand is a little bit harder. Of course, you have everything so accessible to you in the city. Like, I could walk outside and get exactly what I need, but it's not easy per se. You know, carrying your bags on the subway when you've got 4 grocery bags is not ideal. It is expensive, it's livable, it's doable, and I knew that coming in. But yeah, there's definitely random little challenges, and the city definitely tests you. I remember somebody saying that when I first moved here. It was like, the city will test your limits, and it definitely does, but it's not anything that somebody couldn't overcome, and I absolutely love living here, which brings me to my next question of, will I live in New York forever, and what am I doing when my lease is up? So this lease ends in March. I have not received a renewal contract yet, so I have no idea what the rent will be, and if they raise it, I have no idea. My hope and plan right now is to stay in this apartment. I adore it. I love the area. I am obsessed with the setup. I have incredible amenities. It's literally perfect for me, and I don't want to leave. In terms of living in New York, I have no intention of leaving New York anytime soon. Years and years, hopefully. I have wanted to live here for so long, and as soon as I moved here, I knew this was where I was meant to be. And I know that's not the case for everybody, and New York is not for everybody, and that's totally fine. But I absolutely love it here so much, and I'm so happy, and I have no intention of leaving for years. If I ever did, I would love to live somewhere with a beach. I always said that I would love to live near a beach, and if I didn't move to New York, I was actually looking at living in San Diego or South Florida. I do travel to Florida quite a bit because my family has a house in Orlando, and every time I'm there, I'm like, I love it here. I love summer. Absolutely love the sun. I get pretty bad seasonal depression. It's raining here right now in New York, and I'm just already dreading the winter, but I just love the city so much. I don't think I could ever move to a beach town full time. I think I would have gotten bored in San Diego, although I absolutely love it there as well. So I could see myself moving to a coastal town next, but not anytime soon. And honestly, in an ideal world, I could just like win the lottery and have two places to live. Like if I could have a winter at the beach and spring and summer in the city, that would be my ideal lifestyle. So I have no intention of leaving the city anytime soon, and I'm hoping that my rent increase does not require me to leave this apartment. Other New York City questions. Am I dating in New York? No. Next question. Am I still reading? I know this does not really pertain to New York City, but it's like more of a lifestyle question. I got a lot of questions about reading because I used to post about it all the time, and I've been so bad about posting about it. I am still reading. I have read many books this year, and I just keep forgetting to post about it. So I need to be better about that. I'll try to do like just a recap of all the books that I've read. And I also use Book of the Month. This is not sponsored, but I do work with them, and I get new books every month, and I try to read those. I read at least one of them for sure. I always get 2 books. Sometimes I can share with friends or my mom. So I definitely am still reading. I just am bad about sharing that. So I will keep that in mind and continue to share. This is kind of in New York, but also a work question. So we'll kind of categorize these, but do I miss going into the office, or do I like working from home? So I am in a remote role, which means I don't have to go to the office. We do have an office in New York, and I can go in if I want to. I haven't really. I maybe would go in for a change of scenery, but honestly, I am so lucky with my apartment that it is large enough that I feel like I can separate work and life in my apartment. And I don't really miss going into the office. Of course, it's nice to have that routine, but I also kind of have myself on my own schedule and routine to where I can kind of, again, separate that work and life. And I don't miss going in because I'm constantly talking to my coworkers anyway. And a lot of us are already remote or on Zoom. And so even if I was at the office, it's not like I would be seeing people or at least my direct teammates every single time. And it's just really nice to be able to work from wherever I want. And I'm eternally grateful for this role that allows me to be that flexible. And I love working from home. So I don't necessarily miss it. I can kind of see myself like itching to get back sometimes, and then I'll just like go to a coffee shop or work somewhere else, and it kind of solves that problem. So I definitely am glad that I don't have to go to the office every single day or however many times a week. Getting into work questions. I got a lot of questions about getting into human resources and like kind of starting that path. I think I have a couple of videos on this, and I definitely have shared about it before, but I didn't choose HR as my career when I was in school. I actually did my major in PR and a minor in business when I was at University of Oregon. And then I got my master's at Northeastern in HR, but that was because between graduating from U of O and starting at Northeastern, I had gotten the internship with Nike to do human resources, and I knew I wanted to learn much more about it if I was going to do this full time. I really do enjoy HR and the work that I do, and I adore the team that I'm on right now, and it's probably my favorite job that I've had so far at Nike yet, and I'm really loving it. So that helps a lot when you find something that you are enjoying. And I think getting into HR, I didn't know anything about it. I think an internship, if you're in college, is a great way to explore if you like it or not, or if you have a couple of business classes. Like for my minor, those classes that were on like human resource management or just general business touched on those topics. So if that interests you, I think that's a great way. Otherwise, if you are out of college, you can look into like certifications or just like I don't know, online courses that you can take online. I wouldn't necessarily dive right into going into a master's degree. It's absolutely not necessary in the field. It was a personal choice, but you can explore online and just see if it interests you. And then you can kind of get into like a HR generalist role. And that's a great entryway into human resources at any company. And you can just kind of test out and see if you like it. I got this question so many times, and it is, will I be working 9 to 5 or in HR forever, or would I like to do content creation full time? This is something that I've thought about over and over again. I think about it honestly on a daily basis, and it's really tough for me to say. I have no answer. I think that on one hand, I love creating content so much, and it is one of my favorite things that I've discovered that I can do and share, and it's mind-blowing to me that I have people that care about what I'm sharing, and especially when it comes to running and fitness and just lifestyle content, I love it so much. But on the other hand, I think if I lost that 9 to 5 stability and routine, I would lose my mind. I can see myself just getting into such a rut from a content creation perspective if I didn't have that 9 to 5, and just filling my days with nothing. I don't know why. Like, I know that if I didn't have the 9 to 5, I would dive right into content creation full time. I'd probably have more time to create YouTube videos. I'd have more time to start a podcast, which is one of my biggest goals that I haven't been able to do because I don't have the time. I would have much more time to create the content. But I can just see myself being like, oh, I don't work today. I work for myself. I don't need to do anything. And I would like let myself off the hook. I don't know. I go back and forth because I'm definitely one with the personality of like doing a lot. So I can see myself really diving into the content creation and still getting things done. But I think I would miss the schedule and routine aspect, and like from a practical perspective, like health insurance and like a consistent, stable salary, because some months out of the year with content creation, I'm not making very much, and then other months I'm making more than my 9 to 5. So it's like very difficult to have that like, okay, this is what's gonna come in each month. I would be very nervous about the insurance benefits and pay, but you never know. You really don't know. Right now, I am really enjoying doing both, and I'm really enjoying my 9 to 5, and I'm really enjoying the content creation. So I'm good right now. You never know. I'll never say never. And if something, works out, it works out. But for right now, I'm just chilling. Is it a lot? Yes, but I don't know. My personality and my like task-ticking brain kind of loves doing a million things at once, and sometimes I do need the slowdown, but I think I'm doing okay right. Speaking of content creation, I got asked, what is my favorite platform to post on? I go back and forth on this because I obviously started on TikTok, and so that holds a special place in my heart, and I have a huge community on there that I love so much. But I also really enjoy sharing on YouTube because I get to talk, and I don't have to, not that I don't get to talk on TikTok, but I get to talk for a longer period of time, and I don't feel like I have to condense it down into 60 seconds to keep people's attention. I love the longer form. I've just been really enjoying posting on YouTube lately. The part that is hard for me with YouTube is the editing takes so much longer, and just the whole process of YouTube takes so much longer than uploading a TikTok. I've also been really enjoying Instagram stories specifically. I'm not too great about posting on my Instagram feed all the time, but stories are my jam. I absolutely love them. So that's also been fun. I think if I had to rank, it would be like TikTok, YouTube, and then Instagram. But I don't know. Some days I love Instagram, so it's hard to say, but I love them all. I'm so grateful for all of the support on all my platforms, and it blows my mind every single day, but I don't think I could pick a favorite. It's like picking a favorite child. So, random life question, do I have any upcoming travel, and how do I travel so often? I think I've touched on this, but I travel so often because of credit card points and trying to plan ahead, find cheap flights, find cheap accommodations. Luckily, I have friends in different cities and family in different cities, so I get to stay with them sometimes to cut the cost of a hotel. Do a lot of group traveling, so we split the costs. Upcoming travel, I'm gonna be in Portland in October. And then I have New York City Marathon, which I'm not traveling for, but my family is traveling to me for in November. Fingers crossed, pending injury. If you're lost on that, you can see my New York City Marathon training series, and currently injured, but I'll be back next week, hopefully. And what else do I have going on? After the marathon, 2 weeks after the marathon, I'm gonna be in London. I have family in England, and I'm gonna go and see them. They live north of London, and then I'm gonna be in London for like 4 or 5 days. That's a solo trip. And then where else am I going? December, we're going on a family cruise. And then next year, we've got a lot on the docket. So I will keep some of those to myself for right now, but just know there's a lot of traveling coming in 2024. Wow, it's crazy that we're almost to 2024. Speaking of London and getting into running questions, I got a lot of questions about how I got into London Marathon. I got peer pressured by my friends in Run Club, and everyone was like, I'm running London, you gotta run it, it's gonna be so fun, there's a huge group going, and I got FOMO. And I was like, well, the lottery passed. Actually, I entered the lottery and didn't get in. And I was like, how are you guys getting in? And I found a charity, Children with Cancer, that was still accepting applicants. So I put my information in, and I heard back about a week later, and I have to raise the amount that I said I would, obviously, but there was also no minimum to raise. It was just raise as much as you can and give us a number of what you think you can raise. So I will be raising money for Children with Cancer UK, which is amazing. And that's how I got in. And I believe, don't quote me on this, but I believe charities are still accepting applications. One of my friends got in yesterday, and today is Sunday, September 24th. So there's still time if you're looking to get into London Marathon. Got a lot of questions about joining a run club, being nervous to go, am I too slow for a run club, etc. I would say, speaking from my own experience, all of the run clubs that I've gone to have been incredibly inclusive, and I think that's a New York running community thing. It's very inclusive. I would say do a little bit of research on the run clubs in your city. You can Google, you can use social media, check out the vibe. I even went as far as one time finding the group on Strava and like looking at the people who went to it and looking at the pace to just get a vibe check. You can always reach out to them on Instagram or email them and just say, hey, I run at X pace. Is there room for me? Does the group run at this pace? Just to get a vibe check. But you can always show up, and if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But I would say that most people going to a run club are there with the intention of talking to people and making friends. So if you were to show up to a run club and somebody didn't want to talk to you, I would say that's not necessarily a reflection of the run club, but more of a reflection on them. Like the run clubs that I go to, there's maybe 1 in 20 people that would show up that wouldn't want to actually talk or make friends, and the whole vibe of the group is very friendly and inclusive and social. And I would just say go for it. The hardest part is showing up the first time. If you can show up with a buddy, that's always a great way to go. If you just have to show up alone, show up alone. You can do it. I promise. It was terrifying the first time I went. I had just moved to New York. I had no idea. I'd never run with people before. I'd only ever run on my own. And so showing up to a run club was vulnerable. It was scary. I didn't know what to expect. And here I am being a lead for one of the run clubs now in New York. And I love it so much. And just put yourself out there. It's like making a new friend. You're just running and you already have one thing in common. You know you're gonna run some miles, and that's something you can talk about. You can ask them if they're training for anything. You can ask them how long they've been running or how they got started. There's so many conversation starters when it comes to running if you're already on a run. So just don't be scared, put yourself out there. The hardest part is showing up the first time, and you can absolutely do it. I got some specific training questions about fueling and like how I structure my mileage per week, and I would say go and watch my New York City Marathon training series because it kind of dives way deeper into all of this. And also my TikToks pretty much every single day, other than the fact that I'm injured right now, are talking about how I'm training and how I'm fueling. At a high level, I've been testing out a couple of different gels, and I really like the Honey Stinger chews. I like the Scratch Lab chews. I like the sodium salt sticks. My favorite gel so far has been the UCAN or the just Do Energy. I did try, what was it called? Science and Sport. I tried those because that is going to be what is on the New York City Marathon course, so I wanted to test them out. they were okay. I also post all these reviews on my Instagram. I am still figuring out all of my fueling. In terms of energy and like 50 to 55 mile weeks, what you don't see is how much sleep I'm getting and how much I'm eating to be able to recover from all of that mileage. So yeah, you'll see me running 55 miles a week, but I'm also prioritizing sleep. I try to get 7 to 8 hours every night. I have an Oura ring that tracks it, and I absolutely love this thing. I have a full review on my TikTok about my Oura ring. I recover really well. I use the Hyperice boots. I have a Theragun. I cross train. I strength train. Like, there's so much more that goes into it than just 55 miles. I tend to not try to have too much caffeine during the week, and my energy levels have been really stable. When you get carbs, healthy fats, and protein, it really does help. You have to prioritize the recovery. I don't think it's feasible to run 55 miles a week if you're going out every night and not recovering. Not to say you can't go out, but you have to make some sacrifices to be able to sustain that level of energy and training. But I dive deep into all of that on my training series, so definitely check that out. I think that is all the questions I'm going to answer for today. Hopefully that rounded out a lot of the most frequently asked ones, and I will continue to make these frequently so I keep everything up to date. I also do answer questions on my TikTok and Instagram quite frequently, so you can definitely follow me there to get more. Thank you so much for watching and for all of your support so far. I've just been absolutely loving posting on YouTube, so this is super fun for me. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you do not miss the next video. Thank you so much again for watching, and I will see you in the next one.